Hello and welcome to the TMC Newsroom. Thank you for watching. My name is Rich Tehrani. Today we're at Interop, New York 2010 at the Jacob Javits Center. On our program is Ben Guderian, who's the VP of Wireless Vertical Solutions for Voice Communications at Polycom. Hello, Ben.
Hi, thanks for having us here. Really appreciate it.
Well, likewise, thanks for being here. I've known you for, many years, at least 12, 15 years, something like that,
maybe so,
right?
Yeah.
So in that time, we've seen a lot, and we've seen a lot of trends come and go, and I think probably the most interesting one as of late has been unified communications, and I was hoping that we could start talking a little bit about what Polycom's doing in UC.
Yeah, that's a great place to start. You know, Polycom's kind of at the forefront of UC as a provider of everything from the immersive telepresence systems all the way down to desktop systems as ways of communicating, both via voice, messaging, obviously video is really key with that as well. The thing I kind of wanted to focus on today in terms of what we've done most recently has been some of the things around the wireless side of things, and this goes back to the legacy of SpectraLink and the products that we've been doing specifically around providing UC applications in some of those vertical markets where you have mobile employees. So that's kind of what we're really highlighting today, but again, Polycom has UC applications all the way across the whole spectrum. And also we have really interesting strategic partnerships too. You know, we have our open collaboration network. We work with strategic partners in call control, in network, in services, all those kinds of things across the board too. So there's things that we really leverage across all of the UC solutions that we have.
And certainly HD is a big part of what you're doing as well, right?
Yeah, HD video, HD voice. I mean, quality is really key to this. I mean, I think one of the real things that's been a driver of UC adoption and video adoption has been having that level of quality to where you really feel like you're right there, whether it's on an audio call, whether it sounds like somebody in the room, or via video where you actually see the expressions in the face and the kinds of things that can only be conveyed visually.
Yeah, it's very exciting. We were just talking about how probably, I don't know, half a mile away or so in Penn Plaza is your office, your corporate office.
Right.
And I was there and I did an interview with I don't know if it was an interview, but just a demo of all your telepresence rooms, and it was just really amazing stuff you're doing here.
Yeah, it's a real showcase. It's an executive briefing center that really sometimes you really have to experience those kinds of things. You can't really carry around a telepresence demo, right? So we have these centers in strategic locations like New York City so that we can bring customers in and really let them experience it.
So you also brought a cool new product onto the program, right?
Yeah, this is actually something that's a little easier to carry around than a telepresence system. So this is the latest generation of our wireless products. We call this the SpectraLink 8400. And it's really designed around the mobile worker in an environment where they need to have high quality voice communication, but also we can do so much today with application support on this too. So it's kind of analogous to what we see in the smartphone world today with the phones that we carry, iPhones and Android phones and stuff, where you can do all these interesting things with applications. Well, we're kind of focusing on a different set of applications, which are the things that users like in a hospital or a manufacturing plant, the things that they need to have access to.
So this is a really rugged device. It scans, and you said it's designed to go 8 hours. The battery pops out. You can just pop a new battery in.
Right. The physical design is very different than what we are used to in the consumer world. You know, we make it to be rugged. It's got to last a lot of years in a hostile environment. You know, you could have high school kids using this in a home improvement store, nurses who have their hands full, on hard floors, so they do get dropped and bumped. We recognize that. But yeah, other things that really add a lot of value. This particular model has an integrated barcode scanner. And what that does is it really makes it easier to do data entry in a effortless way.
Right.
So like in healthcare, for example, you're entering things into patient records and stuff. Being able to scan medications really simplifies the whole process. So in that sense, it really is very much a UC device in terms of providing a way to facilitate their business processes through a communication device beyond just voice.
This is really a communications-enabled business process enabler.
Yes, exactly.
As if that acronym needed yet another word to be stuck on the end of it.
CEBPE. Right.
But nonetheless, that's what it is, and it's what really excites me about technology is to see it applied in ways that make companies more efficient, more productive, more profitable, allows them to focus on their core competencies while not having to deal with the IT side of their house just bogging them down. So I think that's really interesting. And to me, seeing where these devices are going and how they've evolved, it's incredible. I mean, I see these devices everywhere now in retail.
Yeah.
Competitively, it's Motorola is probably the biggest.
You know, certainly Motorola has a real significant presence in like the retail segment. You know, we have others in the UC world that are doing similar types of devices too. But you know, the way we really differentiate is first of all having that openness and partnerships across call control, wireless LAN interoperability, things that we do. You know, I neglected to mention this is a Wi-Fi phone. Works on all the flavors of 802.11, including N. And then we also have to support all those things like the security standards and QoS standards. So that's one way that we really focus on being able to differentiate. And the other way is with this application capability. So being able to support things through a browser, for example, gives you a thin client so you can have access to a lot of things. We use a WebKit browser, which is similar to what's used on iPhone and Android devices. Sure. So you know the development community is out there already to support these. And there are other applications already built, like for iPhone, for example, in healthcare that can be easily ported to this, whereas the original target may have been for doctors. It can be ported to this to be used for nurses who are more of a target market for something that's a Wi-Fi device.
And WebKit is the basis of, I guess, Safari, to be specific, Safari and
Chrome.
Chrome.
Yeah.
So what sort of resolution does that screen have? I know it's black and white, right?
No, it's full color.
Oh, it is color.
Yeah, and it is a 320 by 220 pixel display.
Okay.
So it's not the same as what you see again in the consumer devices. Sure. It's not designed as a media player, but it is, you know, designed as something that can get you a lot of text, very high resolution text on the display, to where you can do things like browse the mobile version of websites. You know, they're designed.
You don't have to really be concerned about games.
We're not concerned about, our customers don't want that kind of stuff in there.
Right, I would imagine.
So we don't give open and free access to the web. What we do is we have the system administrator can identify which applications a user has access to. So for example, you know, in a healthcare environment, they could have access to a pharmaceutical database or something like that, but they're not going to give them access to Facebook.
Right, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So it's a pretty slick interface here. It's simple. It's a one-hand operation. So
yeah,
that's just menu-driven.
It's got to be simple. It's got to have minimal training too, because again, we're going into environments where training costs money. You know, it's a downtime. It's you may have high turnover, particularly like in the retail segments.
Sure.
Yeah.
And you've got buttons. You know, you've got the hot buttons that do different things.
That's
so it's great. It's quite a rugged device, which is very exciting.
Yeah, we didn't go to touchscreen because we're not quite there yet with the ruggedness for touchscreen, and also just the user model. People really did prefer having a keypad. You know, having a keyboard, a traditional telephone keyboard, because again, fundamentally, this is a phone first. And so it had to be easy to use for that baseline application, and then everything above and over and above that we do with soft keys and you know whatever we can do with hotkeys and stuff like that on there too.
That's great. Well, good luck with it. Thanks for being on the program, and we hope to see you at future shows.
Great, appreciate it. Thank you.